Good morning and welcome to Unity of Bellingham. Good morning. For those of you that don't know, my name is Dyann Castro-Wehr and I'm the platform assistant today. And today we'll be hearing from Reverend Frank Castro-Wehr. His talk today is titled Tin Man Love of Oz, Love Practice.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
And so I invite you to settle into a comfortable position in your seat as we sink deeper into prayer and reflection. I invite you to take a few deep cleansing breaths and close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And as you settle in your chair, settle into your heart space. And see there if there's anyone who comes to mind or any situation that arises that is in need of prayer. Perhaps kindness, grace, a touch of love, or a greater vision could make a difference for this person or this situation. And as you think on this, I invite you to speak their names out loud or hold them silently in your heart. Deborah, And from this heart space, see the highest and the greatest good there, with them, sustaining them right now. Thank you, Spirit. And staying in this quiet place, I invite you to empty your hands of anything they might be holding now, if you like, and gently place your hands in your lap and allow your gaze to drop down into your hands. Taking in your hands with your eyes, look at them closely. Do a little examination of your hands. What do you see there? This extension of you. Draw them near, turn them over, spread them out. Just take your hands in. What is calling your attention about your hands right now? Take a good long look. You might see scars, knots, maybe some wrinkles and veins or freckles, bumps, some signs that show their wear. These are the hands that you've been given for this time on earth. These are your hands of love, the extension of the Christ, giving and receiving love. Much has been accomplished in this life through your hands, whether it be washing dishes, preparing meals, using tools, writing, typing, lifting, carrying, painting, steering your car, caring for loved ones, making art, making music, gardening. You fill in the blank for yourself. These hands are the instruments of your life's calling. When combined with your heart, much of the expression of your life's worth has been accomplished through the work of these hands. And each act of self-care is an act of love directed to yourself. Today, let's celebrate the love expressed through these hands. Send your hands some love and appreciation. Breathe into gratitude for their strengths, their abilities, their beauty, the gentleness, and the care that they provide. Allow this feeling to flow into your hands, filling your palms and your fingers, and let them be enlivened by these grateful thoughts. And as we close, I invite you to say this affirmation with me. The work of my hands is a divine expression of love. The work of my hands is a divine expression of love.
Good morning. Okay, Sanotape. That's hello for the Blackfeet Nation. And we have a saying there, Insookapi, which means good. This is very good. And I wrote a song called Insookapi. And Betty Scott is here today, and she contributed to this song way before she even knew it. and she wanted me to do a poem with her, and she wanted me to sing this refrain over and over again, and it stuck, and I stole it. So, once again, Insookapi. First came her smile, then my laughter. Together, a happy ever after. Yeah. With the rain comes the rainbows, assuring me that's where all the good and love flow. Loving and living my life in light. Every day, every night, I feel everything revolves around you. Humming and loving my way back, singing and loving my life back home. Everything calms down when you say, look at the tree-lined mountain sea, souls of the dead and living beneath one sky, a blue beaded sheet with puffs, pillow cloud. Hey, wash it. Insookapi. Insookapi. She brings me gold, she brings me diamonds, a ruby red to show how deep the love runs. She brings me peace, she brings me silence, a calm to all the hate and violence. Living and loving my life in life. Every day, every night, I feel everything revolves around you. Humming, strumming my way back home. Every time I feel alone, everything calms down when you say, look at the tree-lined mountain sea, souls of the dead and living beneath one sky, a blue beaded sheet with puffs, a pillow cloud. Here you are.
Okay. So this is what it likes when you feel like you're in the presence of genius. And this is what it's like when we all can feel the presence of our genius. Thank you for that example of just being in that flow. Oh my God. This month, the theme is spiritual practice. And Dyann had said, our mission is, to be alive and to have our spiritual practice, to be in compassionate service, and to live with our purpose, to understand our purpose and live into that. Spiritual practice. And we talk a lot about the practice of meditation, contemplation, doing our journaling. Yes, profoundly important. And also, the great teachers have shown us so many other ways that we can be alive in practice. Another way to practice is through art. That's not the topic for today, but we got to stop for a minute. Expressing ourselves through our art, through our music, through our prayers, through our technical abilities that we share, through our praying as chaplains, also through quilting. Dyann finished this last night, and I said, wait. Yeah. She was wrapping it up. It's a gift. I said, before you give that away, we're doing a thing that's heart-centered tomorrow. Can we please show it off to the congregation? So yeah. Exploding hearts? Exploding hearts. Yeah, it's called Exploding Hearts. Amazing. Spiritual practice. Oh, it comes in so many ways and shapes and forms. Last week was Labor Day. So I thought, Labor Day is always just a cookout for me. I don't really have a lot that's connected to me for Labor Day. I don't know, maybe you guys do. It's just a fun day off, which was its point for people who worked hard to have a day off. But we explored the spiritual practice of work. And if you weren't here last week, just the 30-second recap. And there's this notion of yoga, which means to yoke, to be fully connected. The yoga, which is this place of I am in practice, I am in service, I am connected to the source of my truth and who I am in our deepest essence. Yoga is connection. So we talked about the yoga of work, the yoga of selfless work, the yoga of working without being attached. The yoga of saying, no matter what happens, this is mine to do, and I'm going to go out and do it, and having the courage and the strength and the energy and the intuition about what is it mine to do? How do I go out and work? What is my next step? Where do I go? And during this week, I was talking to a minister friend of mine, and he said, oh, Frank, you got to listen to my talk. I said, what'd you do? He goes, oh, I did it on the Wizard of Oz. And I went, bing. Oh, that's good. So I'm going to go back just for a second, but I want to talk about, the Wizard of Oz. So first off, is anybody here, this movie, even though it was done in 1939, I read a statistic that it's one of the top 5 movies that we've seen in the United States of America. If you've been in America, has anybody not seen The Wizard of Oz, the movie? Not seen it. Okay, so fair that I can just talk about it without explaining it. Okay, good. Let's go down the yellow brick road. Yeah. So just going to the Wizard of Oz, and there's 3 main characters. Dorothy, who I want to talk about, is who's Dorothy? We are. We're all Dorothy, and Dorothy needs help on the journey, and she finds 3 key places, things, elements, principles, energies, actually, of her life, and she finds a scarecrow who's all about this energy center. I need a brain. And she finds a tin man who's all about this energy center. I need a heart. And she finds a scarecrow who's all about this energy center. I need courage and strength and energy and expand my intuition about what's mine to do. Like Jesus did whenever he went to the temple, whenever he went up to the mountain, whenever he went into a really important healing. He took Peter, he took James, and he took John. How many times have you read? So Jesus went with Peter, James, and John, and then some big transformation, some miraculous event, something that was spectacular happened. Same energies. Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion. And they go on an adventure. Now, when the story was written, a little after the turn of the century, it had a lot to do, if you think of the physics of it, the actual practical nature, where the Scarecrow was all about the farmers and the Tin Man was about the working people who were coming out of the Great Depression, and they were struggling, and the Lion represented some really popular new political figures who were talking about going on to the gold standard or the silver standard and doing all this, and Oz was like, getting into the capital, and then the witches were like, well, what's going on in different parts of the country? Out west they're having fires, they're having problems. That's all wicked, that's evil. But at north, some good things are happening. There's new industry, that's good, witch. And so all of this made some kind of sense on the physical level. But here at Unity, we talk about the physics, the actual practical matters. Of course we do, and that's clearly important. But we also talk about the metaphysics, the deeper meaning, what's going on behind the story. And I want to introduce you to a new phrase today. And this is something I got from this mystic. His name was Teilhard de Chardin. Maybe many of you have heard about him, a paleontologist, a Jesuit, a theologian. And he talked about this evolution of consciousness. And he said, not only do we want to worry about the metaphysics that's going on beyond, we want to worry about we want to look into the hyperphysics of where we're going. Where are we going? What's this all about? I mean, we get into the deeper meanings of things and what's the underlining principles, but they're all taking us somewhere. And, years ago, it's kind of like, well, think even 1,000 years ago, Dad was a farmer and Grandpa was a farmer and great-grandpa was a farmer. So I'm going to be a farmer. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay on the farm and we're doing the same thing our parents did, right? And we know we live in a time in this century where things have been happening fast, and we are going someplace, and we see it, we feel it, we know it, not only in our physical world, but in consciousness. People talk about, and we feel this tipping of the consciousness into whole new areas of awakened awareness. So we're not only worried about the metaphysics, but let's also think about the hyperphysics. Where are we going? Where are we going? We're going down the yellow brick road. We're going somewhere. We're going to Oz. But here's the funny thing. Even though we're going there, what are we wearing on our feet? Ruby slippers. And how do we get to where we really want to go? Yeah, it's in us all along. And that's the theme. We think we're on this greater journey, and we are. We show up on earth. We have it in us all along, but still part of our life is we do this play of consciousness. Isn't this fun? It's joyful. We're here. We're unfolding. We're playing. We're on the yellow brick road. We're doing it together. We're awakening these different energy centers of our lives, and we're helping each other do the same. And we're on this incredible journey to express our purpose, to express our genius. And that genius shows up in all sorts of different ways. But it's ours here to express. And then we tap our hands and we go home all along. We know we're connected. We know we're there. But let's play with our friends and let's go down the road and let's see what happens. And this metaphysics. So here's what happens today. Because today, last week, we talked about the thing that in the Patanjali's talked about in the great Yoga Sutras. And this is the unfolding in the East and the Hindu genius. They talk about these different ways of being of service. Last week, we talked about this thing called karma yoga, which is yoga of work, which is yoga of selfless service, which is this energy center that says strength and energy and go forward and show up and not be attached to the results. Just know that we are turning it over and we're doing the work we need to do and trusting, following that path. And today, we want to talk about the Tin Man. So here, at the point in the story, you might remember, Dorothy's already found the Scarecrow, and they're coming down the road, and they see an apple tree, and they go, well, I want an apple. And they grab the apple, and the tree goes, hey, what are you doing? Let go of my apples. How would you like if I picked an apple off of you? And they start throwing apples. You remember this? So she's running, she's chasing the apples, and she's crawling through the bushes, and all of a sudden she sees his foot. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. She goes, oh, my God, it's a Tin Man. Remember this. And the Tin Man's got an axe. This is important. And he goes, oil can. Oil can. Oil can. So Dorothy reaches over, grabs the oil hand, starts squishing me. I can talk. Oil. Symbolically. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, writes that oil is when we bathe each other in a new touch of spirit and say, here's the awakened energy of spirit. And, you know, in the great traditions, like, for example, in baptisms and coming of ages and confirmations and all sorts of spiritual practices, what do? We use oil as an anointing. And Dorothy comes up and says, time for you to awaken, Tin Man. I need my heart to come on board. I anoint you with oil. Wake up. Wake up. Time to get going. Oil, anointing. Wake up, Tin Man. And he starts doing a dance. I'm here. I'm awake. I'm not ready yet. He goes, you think I'm great? Tap on my chest. Bong, bong, bong. I don't have a heart. And of course, he was the most heart-centered of all the characters, right? Of course he had a heart. But it was on the journey to awaken. And he said, what happened to you in the first place? And he said, well, I was over here cutting a tree, and then it started raining, and I rusted up. It started raining. Charles Fillmore says, the rain is symbolic of the emergence and a downpour of Holy Spirit awakened awareness into our life. So here's what happened. We're going along in our life, and all of a sudden we have a moment. The rain falls on us. I need to stop what I'm doing. This ain't working anymore. Do you know that feeling? I need to stop what I'm doing. This just isn't working anymore. And what's in his hand is an axe. Charles Fillmore doesn't say anything about an axe, but he does say something about a sword. And any kind of weapon. Because we always have this power and this potential, and we all have it, to do great damage. Isn't it interesting that the symbol of love walks around with an axe? Because it's that close. That same power that can say a loving word is the same power that can say something that just like cuts somebody to the quick. The same power that can show up in graciousness is the same power that can turn around and be so selfish that, you know, and I went back and I watched this movie. I watched every single thing about the Tin Man. And I asked, does he ever put the axe down? And he doesn't. To the very end, the symbol of love walks around with an axe. You know, I thought, oh, that's fascinating. That energy we have of our heart is so potent and so powerful that we need to respect that energy and hold it in humility, and understand its power and its potency for its good, for its transformation, but also for if we just let it go asunder, how much it can be a part of our nature to be harmful as well. Very fascinating. Yeah. So the Tin Man and Dorothy, they walk down the road and they go to Oz. And what's Oz? You know, it's that promise we think, wow, let me talk about it in this way. We talk about the practice of love. And what the Tin Man does is this energy of our love center. So some of the in the Vedic literature, and I was reading this story I told you last week, this book by Vivekananda. And why was I interested in this guy? Because he came to the Parliament of World Religions at the turn of the century, and Charles and Myrtle Fillmore went and listened to him. And it was part of sort of the energy of this founding of unity and New Thought teachings that was totally based in Christianity, but what very much took in insights from other traditions and took in the insights from this new awareness that we were having in the United States from some of these teachers, first Vivekananda, later Paramahansa Yogananda, and then others. And in this teaching, he said, when we practice love, which he called bhakti yoga, when we want to be a bhakti yogi, we have to think of love as a triangle, three pieces of the triangle. And he said, the first piece is that love, that when we go to love, it's not about being a beggar. What does that mean? And he tells this story about a king, a very powerful king who had just everything in the world. And he went out and he wanted to meet the great sage that he heard about. It was out in the woods. And so the king goes out and he finds this sage out in the woods. And he goes, I want to invite you into the palace. I've heard so much about you and you're the greatest sage of the kingdom. Come with me. He goes, well, I don't need anything in a palace. Why would I want to go? There's a fresh stream right here. I got all the water I need. The forest provides all the food I need and clothing. I've got this cave and a roaring fire. I'm fine. I have got everything I need. I just live in a total place of gratitude of love. I just love every morning. I love everything I see. I'm just grateful for it all. He goes, but I'm the king, and I want you to come and see how great the palace is. So he says, okay, well, you're the king. I'll go with you. So they go to the palace. And the king's in there showing him all the riches and all the wonders and stuff. And he said, pray with me. And the king sat down and he said, oh, Lord, I need more children. Give me more children. And I need more money. Give me more wealth. And I need more health. Give me more health. And give me. Lord, give me. I've heard of it before. And the sage got up and he walks out of the room. He goes, I got to go. He goes, where are you going? He goes, how awful it would be for me to take anything from you. He goes, I'm the king. He goes, no, you're a beggar. And I'm not taking anything from you. You're so suffering, I wouldn't even think of taking something from you. You're the one that has nothing, and I have it all. Because I live in the practice of gratitude for every beautiful thing. My eyes are open in love to how much love is coming at me, how much love I can share, and in this beautiful flow of awakened energy. And the sage says, I'm going back to the woods where I got it all. You can stay here in the palace and feel like you've got nothing except the energy of give me. So first part of the triangle of awakened love is staying in that energy of gratitude and not in the energy of always saying, I need yet one more thing. I told you this story. I look around and I see Teslas, for example, and electric cars. I've told you this before. And I just realized that, it's like, well, maybe someday you'll get it. Or maybe I can just be happy because they're out there. Look at that one. Isn't that great? Those are so cool. I've been with friends. I've driven around in them. They're wonderful. It's the wave of the future. Can I just be in joy about the fact that these cool new technology is coming online? There's still issues. We're still working it out. Where you get the batteries. There's a lot of stuff. It's always like that, right? So the electric car, well, it's so good. It's going to save so much energy. Oh, but where they get the lithium, and there's these mines, and there's this child labor, and there's new environmental issues. There's all sorts of stuff. Hello, wicked witch of the west. Hello, good witch of the north. Hello, wicked witch of the west. Oh, can't I just ever go where there's both the good witch and the bad witch and the wicked witch of the west? There's always this circle of like, just when I thought I was doing something good, then I see there's a shadow side, and there's this other side. Yeah, right. Welcome to Oz. Find a situation where that isn't true. The great yogis talk about, he said the four great things. People are vegetarian, we're going to be so good. He goes, do you grind things up with a pestle? Do you pour boiling water on top of things? Do you chop things up? Oh no, we're all part of it. We're all part of the world that's chopping and boiling and scathing and killing and turning things. Hello, world. It's this big circle. And that's why we stand in the energy knowing, and it says the way you get out of that is that you also stand in gratitude. And you also stand in humility. And we stand and say, I understand that I'm active in this world and I have a role. Or I go to Oz, I understand there's the good witch of the north and the wicked witch of the west. I get it. There's all these energies at play. But I will stand in humility and know I'm here on the play of life. And instead of trying to control it and management, I will humbly allow it and turn it over and say, I am here to do what I can do, stand in the energy that I can stand in, and not be in this energy of give me, let me try to manage it, let me try to fix it, but instead be in the energy of gratitude. The energy of gratitude and allowing. Yeah. Somebody reminded me this morning right before service. Even when things are tough, let's just stay in the energy of gratitude and allow that flow of love to move through us. That's the first part of love. The second part of the triangle is, and this practice, is love knows no fear. Love knows no fear. And we say that all the time. But imagine this. Two stories, right? There's a lady, she's out walking, she's checking her phone, she's not looking, and all of a sudden she didn't see it coming, a big dog comes at her. So imagine that feeling, right? Totally surprised. Big dog comes at you, and you're like ready to jump out. Maybe it's not a big dog, maybe it's a little dog. Imagine the dog that you can imagine. Feel that for a second. It's important. You know that feeling? You've been shocked, something's coming at you, dog, whatever it is, and you're in fear. Now imagine this energy. Same woman, she's got a 3-year-old toddler with her, right? Walking down the street, a mountain lion comes around the corner and starts running at him. What do? Run in fear? You go, I will tear you apart, mountain lion, if you touch my child. Do you feel that? Put your hand on your heart. Mountain lion's coming at you, coming at your 3-year-old child. I will stop you in your tracks, mountain lion. Don't you even think that you're going to touch this child. I'll rip you in two, mountain lion. You feel that energy? Do you feel it in your heart? That's the energy. No fear. No fear. Boldly saying, I am here. This child is the life that is being born, that is mine to birth, that I have been called here on earth to outpicture, the love I need to share. This 3-year-old is me, and that 3-year-old needs to be online and on point, despite all the appearances of things that might seemingly threaten it. No, I am here on purpose, in love, and I'm going to love 110%. First, starting, in which way? So we love God or each other? Okay, start with one and go to the other. Start with the divine. I will be so in love with God, with the divine energy, which I know is outpicturing from the eternal down into the expression of each of you. Can we be that in love, where we feel that energy, our heart pumping, and say, I am here, no more fear. Showing up in love, showing up to do what's mine to do, showing up in the most practical ways. Yeah. And affirming that that's the truth of me. Third wing of the triangle. Okay? And the third one is that I will be very careful about what it is I love. Because the idea is to love the ideal. And we can all ask ourselves a question. What do I love? What am I paying attention to? What am I focusing my energy on? Is it on that awakened awareness, that genius expression? I know when people are focusing on playing music and practicing, because if you're not, you don't get up here and do what you guys just did. You know? What am I putting my energy on? Oh, when I was reading this, I was like, oh. Because sometimes my energy, I know for me, gets very dispersed. And the practice is take the focus away from that nonsense and put it on the ideal energy that I want to be on, which is aligned with the divine energy that's in harmony with me, that's in harmony with you. You can put your hands on your heart and go, energy, the divine energy, heart energy to heart energy. What is mine? How is it mine to focus? What is mine to show up with? How am I resonating with the world? Where is that heart energy? I went to Trader Joe's once. Dyann it was something that happened, and she was hurt, and I came in, and I was checking out. I needed some groceries, and the lady, this young woman, she said, how's your day going? I said, well, it's not good. I mean, we've just had this medical thing, and it's just been a long day. I'm exhausted. My wife's tired. She's in the car, and she goes, and she's checking me out, and she goes, just a second, and she disappears, and she comes back with this big bouquet of flowers. She goes, give this to, put your hand on your heart. She comes back with this big bouquet of flowers and hands it to me, right? And I was getting cash back, like $60. I hit 6,000. I instantly teared up. I'm like, I said, you just have no idea what that simple act of kindness meant to me. And I'm like tearing up. And she looks at me, she tears up. 2 guys stand right behind us line, have no idea what's going on. They're tearing up. The four of us are like, well, this is great. That energy, that's what we want to connect with. Because I tell you, there's people that are, got a job as mercenary. Their big love is destroying. People have love that people love, and because this isn't the love that reaches to the highest level of ideal love, but people love all sorts of things. When you want to say, and I might sometimes love things, and you just want to question, let's not love that. Because when I love that, and I do love it to some extent, because it's the same idea, but I'm not getting that, no juice there. It's that. Thank you for that moment of kindness. Thank you for that. We feel it. We know it. That love. Focus on that love. Focus on that love. And then you go around the triangle, keeping that energy of that love. And, and then keeping the energy of affirmative love. Not asking and begging, but going, I know the truth of my being, that I'm connected. This is a very fine source that's flowing in and as me and through me and connected to that. And I don't need to ask for things. Those things are already here. I don't need to ask for I need more money. Just claim our abundance, the truth of our fullness. I need more of this kind of, physical thing. We're here. Beautiful. Look at us. We got up this morning. That's a blessing. Let's be grateful. I mean, look at this day. Look at this art. Look at this stuff, And fearlessness. When we catch ourselves being frightened, we know. You go, I'm really scared. I know I should do this, but it's just too hard, and I'm really scared. Yeah, and we all have things that, for whatever reasons, unpack it for a million reasons why we might show up in fear. But put our hands on the heart and go, time to be fearless. Time to show up in love. Time to be the person we're called to be. Time to let our genius unfold. And time to show up that way. Time to be a tin man. And be careful, because we're walking out that axe. We're walking. It's easy to love what's not ideal love. We always have that power. But even with that power, we show up as part of this power center. This power center. The practice of love. The practice of love. Bhakti yoga. Tin man practice, if you will. Okay. And a commercial break. Next week, Connie's going to be here, because I'm going to go fill in for another minister who needs some support. And she's going to keep on this theme. And week 4, we're going to do scarecrow. The practice of jhana yoga. The practice of connecting in a higher understanding. And then we'll wrap it all up. So welcome to September, following the yellow brick road. And, as a final thing, and I'll end on this, who's the wizard, too? We always look up and go, if I think I got it, if only that person could do it for me. Who's got the power? It's there in us all along. The wizard never gave anything to the Tin Man. He had the heart all along. He said, well, my friend, you don't need a heart. You just need a testimonial. You need something, I will help you. I will give you an affirmation. Here's the truth of you. You've been there all along. You are a person of great graciousness and great loving ability. Here's a testimonial. And he goes, oh, an affirmation. So when we're in doubt, just give yourself a testimonial. I am one with the very divine energy of love, the source of love, that very presence of love, the fullness of love, that is truth of the universe, is the same stuff, spiritual stuff, that keeps my heart beating. It's me, it's you, it's all of us. We just affirm the truth of our nature. We are love. And we have the potential to expand that love. Oh my God. Remember that feeling? Wouldn't it be great to live in that energy all the time? Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, let's do that. Amen.